And we are back. Thanks for the super thanks, Yamar. Hope I got the name right. No, thank you so much for the super thanks. Black Hole, welcome to the stream. Life is scary. Welcome to the stream. We're not scared enough. No, one of the most difficult things that you deal with in this whole room is intellectual dishonesty from other people. Now, one of the biggest mistakes that we make is that we believe that the popular opinion is the right opinion, meaning that the more popular you are, the more closer you are to the truth. Like the best opinion is gonna win. Imagine if you live in a world where everything is upside down, but you are intellectually honest. You live in a family where everyone is wrong, right? Everyone doesn't see things right. You are the only one who can see the truth in that family. Imagine what you're going to go through. Imagine the kind of hell that you're going to go through. Not because you're wrong. Understand how hard it is to suffer for being right, for actually saying things that make sense. So you live in a world where everyone is delusional, but you live life and say things that make sense. And because of that, you are being tormented. I'm pretty sure that a lot of people know what it's like to grow up in a family where everyone is actually wrong about a lot of things. Like, everyone is the same actually. And they don't see their own flaws. They don't see what they are wrong about. And you are the only one who see things right. You are the only one who's closer to the truth. But because you are different, they can't truly accept you. They can't truly relate to the things that you're saying. It's one of the most listen, hell is other people. And if other people don't get you, they're gonna make your life hell by default. So if you're born in a society that's not wired to value truth and you're a truthful person, that means that you're going to suffer by default, right? We live in a world that's not wired to value truth. We live in a world that's wired to value popularity. That's wired to value what everyone is valuing, basically. Well, we live in a society where people are copying one another. We live in a society where people uh, value those who have power, not the truth. So, if you are real, if you are honest, if you are authentic, if you are saying things that truly make sense in a world that doesn't make sense, obviously you're going to suffer. But you're not wrong. You see, one of the biggest mistakes that we make when we're suffering is that we think we are wrong, right? When we suffer for being right. I've realized that about a lot of people. Like when you're actually right, but then you get punished for being right, you start to think that you're wrong because of the trauma that you experience when you're being punished. So let's say you're a truthful person, you stand for the truth, you're real, you speak sense, you're growing because of that, you are evolving because of that. But people are criticizing you. People are making you think that you're crazy for being right. You know what's gonna happen? You're gonna start to doubt yourself. You're gonna look at other people and be like, "Oh, that person is doing well. That person is living the kind of life that I want to live. Uh, what if I try to live life like them because they are accepted by society?" You know what I'm saying? You will start to blame yourself for actually being right because you want to fit in. That's why I've been telling you that if there is something that you must conquer, is the need to be loved. Is wanting to fit in, is wanting people to be on your side. In a world that is not meant for us to thrive, trust me, truth will always be hated. Truth will always be treated as something that is taboo, right? Truth will be feared. So you find that people don't hate you, not I mean, people hate you not because you are wrong, not because you're doing things wrong, not because you're saying things that are wrong, but because you're right. We live in a world that is actually upside down. So being right is actually a wrong thing in a realm like this. This is something that is very hard for a lot of people to understand. Being right is a wrong thing in a realm like this. So of course, you're going to suffer if you're a black sheep of society, if you're the one who sees things differently in society, especially in a realm that doesn't value truth. People confuse evolution with growth. They think evolution is growth. Not really. I remember I had a conversation with this other guy who's a racist a couple of weeks ago. He was saying that black people are not smart because of what is happening in African countries. So he was saying that black people are not smart. And I was like, that is not true. I'm black and I live with black people. What I've realized, because I've thought about what you're saying, but here's what I've realized. Because black people had to fight, what ended up happening is that the ones who are good at fighting became our leaders. So now all of us have to follow their footsteps. Do you get what I'm saying? So now everyone who must become a leader must possess the qualities that the ones who fought for our liberation had. But they are not the best leaders that we can have because they're not even leaders, they're just fighters. Do you get what I'm saying? But as we evolve to become powerful within our communities, we have to possess what those people had, the qualities that those people had. So if you are different, even if you are right, you're never going to thrive in the black community if you don't possess these qualities I'm talking about. So you could be the most intelligent person but still not thrive within the community because you don't possess these qualities. So that's what I'm saying. Evolution doesn't always mean growth, right? That's the mistake that people are making. So if you live in a society that doesn't value truth, you might think that being a liar is a sign of intelligence. You know what I'm saying? Not really. Maybe it can being a liar can help you survive, but people have found out that lying helps them. We live in a world full of corruption, so the most corrupt people are the ones who are winning. A lot of people who became very successful in life, people who were very corrupt. If they are not corrupt, those who came before them, who gave them the wealth that they had, were the ones who were corrupt. They were the ones who were doing a lot of things that were horrible. You see, they're the ones who stole from others. It's how it actually works in this world. So if you're a person of integrity, if you're a person who really speaks truth, it will be hard for you to actually thrive in a society like this because people like you are not meant to thrive, right? So you're going to deal with a lot of adversity. It started in your own families. You've dealt with a lot of adversity for being right. Your own siblings were not on your side because you were right, not because you were wrong. They judged you. They even made you feel like you're not even enough because of how they treated you. Some of them actually gave you what you call mental illnesses, right? Because if you are being mistreated in society, obviously you going to, you know, you're going to suffer from what they call mental illnesses. Like I've been telling you that people who are truly happy, people who are treated right, they don't have these things that we call mental illnesses. You know, if things are really going right in your life, you didn't have traumas or anything like that, these things that we call mental illnesses, you know, you won't even show signs of these things. But if you have suffered a lot, you be this person who's anxious because you are afraid of suffering. You've suffered. It's like a person who has been okay, let me find a better example. Let's say, let me give you an example from the Truman Show movie. Truman was afraid of water because he saw his father drowning, right? We can say that he had a mental illness, he had a phobia. So if you're being mistreated, obviously you're going to have you're going to show signs of what they call mental illnesses. If you're growing up in a family where no one is on your side, no one understands, no matter how right you are, do you know that people who are who were right about everything, but who were treated as if they were wrong? So you were actually being punished for being right, for thinking at the highest level, and because of that, you started maybe to isolate yourself. You started to hate your family. Uh, you started to doubt yourself. You know, you started to judge yourself, and because of that, you couldn't become the person that you could have become, right? Because of the trauma that you had to experience. It's not easy to stand alone. Human beings are wired to seek for validation from others. When humans are being validated, they feel good. You know how good you feel when people are saying you're right, when people are on your side, when people are showing you love, when people are showing that you are worthy of love. You feel good. So imagine growing up in a family where everyone is treating you like you're an outcast, like you don't belong in a family, like you are the only one who's weird. Like if they were to choose a person that doesn't deserve to be part of the family, you feel like they will choose you. You know what I'm saying? Because of how they've been treating you. Of course, that's gonna mess with you mentally. So imagine if the whole society is treating you like an outcast. Like no one is on your side. Like you don't know anyone in real life who understands you, who agrees with you. So you could be saying things that make complete sense, and no one really understands you. No one really agrees with you. You know, everyone is like, no, you're wrong about things that you're totally right about. That's the problem with being the black sheep of society. But you shouldn't feel like you're wrong because society is punishing you for being right. You should actually feel like you're right because you are. What I've realized growing up was that the world is really upside down. I used to be blamed for being right, for being totally right. I used to be bullied for being right. And it still happens, you know, in any place. If you really gonna speak the real truth, you see, there are things that seem true that are not really true. Like it's like half truth. Half truth are not dangerous. The real truth is dangerous, and truth is only dangerous because we've been living a lie. It's not that truth itself will be dangerous. It's only dangerous because society has been living a lie. Let's say you're in a relationship with a person who doesn't love you. So the truth is that the person that you're in a relationship with doesn't love you, but you don't know that. So you're telling yourself that this person that you're in a relationship with actually loves you, right? They say that's what you are actually telling yourself. The day that you're going to discover that this person that you're in a relationship with doesn't love you, that's going to harm, like you, that truth will be dangerous for your health, because for your mental health, because you've been believing a lie. So that's the same thing that's going on, in this society, is that actually been living a lie. So the truth is actually dangerous because of the lies that we believe about life. It's not that the truth itself is bad. It's not that the truth itself is dark, because people be like, "Oh, truth is dark," and all. Like, no, it's not even dark. It's just that people have been living in lie. Those who have been embracing the truth from the beginning don't feel like the truth is dark. Like, if you've been embracing the truth from the beginning, it's, it doesn't feel that way. It doesn't feel like the truth is dark, because you've always been valuing the truth. But those who do not value the truth will sound dark to them. You will be drawn to people who speak the truth because you've always valued truth. Those who do not value truth are going to be like, "Oh, that's dark. That's dark philosophy. Um, that's just being negative." You know what I'm saying? That's what people are going to be saying. I'm pretty sure that a lot of people who are pursuing truth, they will be they will be a black sheep of society by default. Whether you're pursuing truth about the society that you live in, whether you're pursuing truth about the universe, whether you're pursuing truth about reality itself, consciousness, God, religion, if you are really pursuing the truth, you will automatically be the black sheep of society. There's no way around it. If you're pursuing truth about society, you will see a lot of things that are wrong with society, and you will talk about these things, and people ain't gonna react well to the things that you are saying. They ain't gonna react well to truth because they are not wired to value truth. So you tell them that society is not what we think it is. There's actually something that is actually wrong with society. You talk about the education system, you talk about politics, or you'll talk about media, social media, all these things. You talk about all the lies that we were being told. Obviously, people ain't gonna be on your side. Like, majority of people are the same. They see things the same way. They're very easy to program. You could make them believe anything. There's something that I've actually noticed about people who are black sheep, who are considered to be the black sheep of the family. They've always been seeking for something that other people are not seeking. Let me give you a simple example. Music. If everyone in the family love hip hop music, you might find that they love rock and no one even understands why they love rock. If they love certain kind of movies, they love different kind of, they are always seeking for something that they prefer the most. They are able to rise above their programming, basically. So they're able to like what they were not supposed to like. You see, you could grow up in a village where everyone listens to traditional music, but you discover music that they don't even listen to, and you're like, "Huh." It shows that you are always seeking. So if you're living in a family where everyone is the same, you're automatically going to be different, because your the zeal that you have is stronger than the zeal that they have, right? So even when it comes to truth, when there's problems in the family, you value truth more than them. They don't see the truth. They would rather focus on the on the solutions that have worked in the past. But like, okay, this is how we've always done things in the family. But you have new ideas because you are the one who's actually able to think. So being a black sheep really brings suffering, but that doesn't mean that you're wrong. Society will treat you bad if you don't agree with it by default. If you grow up in a village where everyone believes in Christianity and you're not a Christian, you automatically become the black sheep. They ain't gonna treat you well. You will lose friends for real. You'll be surprised, bro. People will betray you. People will talk behind your back. Not because you're wrong. That's what hurts the most. Not because you're wrong, but because you're right. But they're operating at a level of consciousness that doesn't allow them to say the truth about you because you're pursuing truth. Society thinks it cares about the truth. No, society cares about survival. That's what it cares about. It's survival. It's all about survival. It's always been about survival. People are trying to survive. They are doing what works to survive. If you care about the truth, if you really care about the truth, you care about the truth more than you care about survival. Do you see the problem? So you don't do the fake things that people be doing just to survive. All of it is going to seem like BS to you because you're pursuing truth. So you'll be like, no, I still want to pursue truth, regardless of how you're treating me, because I'm pursuing truth. I can imagine how a lot of people who are pursuing truth are being treated in society. I was lucky enough to grow up in a village where people are a little behind, like when it comes to technology and stuff like that, right? So I I wouldn't talk to a lot of people about what I was realizing because I just felt like they were behind, like they couldn't even understand it. So, but the few people that I've had conversations with about what I was realizing when I was, you know, like really trying to figure out how the world really works, they were really treating me like the black sheep. So the other people just didn't understand like what kind of person I am. I think that people on Discord, let's join the Discord. I think I've also because after this live, we're going straight to Discord. Let me also post this live on some groups here. The real reason why there's suffering in the world, the real reason why there's a lot of suffering in the world And it's just one reason, really, bro. I mean, this there are other reasons why people are suffering, but this reason that I'm gonna give you, if we were able to see that this is the real reason why we're suffering, will end all our suffering. So the real reason why people are suffering is because they don't value truth. That's it. If you actually value truth, as like if we value truth as a collective, there will be no suffering in the world. We'll end suffering very easily. The problem is that we become hypocrites, and it's through hypocrisy that we are causing suffering. Think of people who are corrupt. It's not like they believe that through corruption society is going to thrive. No, they just see an opportunity to make money, you know, like, yeah, let's make money. They know damn well that if there were people who were more powerful than them, who were corrupt, and they were suffering because of these people, they, of course, they wouldn't like that, right? So people do not value truth. That is the real problem. And not only do they not value truth, because survival is the most important thing to humans, if truth threatens the survival, they hate it. So they will hate whoever speak the truth because truth threatens their survival. Because what they want is to survive. So if they are not surviving from acknowledging the truth and being real, being authentic, then they would rather live a lie. They would rather believe lies. That is why religions are becoming powerful in this realm. We know that there's no way that all these religions could be true. If there was maybe a religion that was true, it would only have to be one religion. So why do people believe in religion? It means that it has to do with survival. It has to do with what works. So if you are born in a Muslim country, you know that if you're going to be an atheist, you're going to be mistreated by a lot of Muslims. Why? Because you don't believe what they believe. So in order to thrive in that kind of society, you have to believe nonsense. You have to be like, you know what? I'm not going to value truth. I'm going to value the nonsense that everyone believes in so that I can thrive. Because what can I do? If you live in a society that believes that licking a tree is is a divine, like there's something divine about doing that, and if you don't do that, you're a sinner. You'll have to do it if you believe more in survival than truth. You won't be like, but that's nonsense, bro. Like that doesn't make any sense. I'm just gonna stay away from that. No, you'll be like, no, I'm going to believe. I'm going to do what everyone else is doing, and a lot of people don't even realize what they're like how much they're compromising for survival. A lot of people do see when something is BS. It's not like everyone doesn't see when something is BS. But because survival is the most important thing to them, they'll be like, I'm just trying to survive. I remember I gave you this example about this experiment that they did. They put like five people in a room and they told these people that whenever you hear a bell, you must stand up. Like there must be one person who stands up and then the other ones join, right? So whenever they'll hear the bell, the first person will start standing up and then sitting down, standing up, sitting down whenever they hear the bell. And then the other ones will join. There was only one person who didn't know what was going on, but they joined because of the majority of it. So you see, you compromise a lot just to survive because you're trying to survive. People who not accepted in a society, a person who's like a black sheep of society, this person doesn't care about being accepted. This person is not going to follow stupid rules if these rules don't make sense. This person is still going to speak truth, even if the truth is going to make other people hate them. So, of course, there's going to be consequences. Of course, society is going to punish this kind of people. I know what it's like to be mistreated because people don't quite understand you, or people not really liking you because they don't really understand you, because you are actually right, like you are actually speaking the truth, you are actually living life the way that it should be lived. Like if you are, if a human being who's free, you are living life the way that it should be lived. A lot of people don't even understand that they're in chains, bro. The black sheep is the honest one. The black sheep is the one that is actually right. The black sheep is the one that sees the truth. It's always been like that throughout history. It's the black sheep that's actually gonna see the truth. And it's very easy to see the truth when you're a black sheep. Very, like, even if you're not very smart, you will be able to see the truth. Why? Because when people are benefiting from a lie, they don't really see that it's a lie. They don't even take the time to like think about the lie. But if you're not benefiting from a lie, it is very easy for you to see that the lie. Remember what I was telling you about corruption? People only see how unfair corruption is when they're not benefiting from it. But if you give the same people a chance to benefit from corruption, they'll probably want to benefit from it. But you know what I like about the black sheep? Because the black sheep from the beginning cared about the truth, the black sheep doesn't compromise their values for survival. It's actually too late for them to even do that. They will feel like they're betraying themselves. You see, let me tell you how someone becomes a black sheep. They can live life the way that everyone lives life. So let's say this person is born in a family. In a family, everyone is a hypocrite. In a family, everyone is a liar. In a family, everyone is toxic. The black sheep is going to hate that, and they won't act like the other kids because they will see what they're going to become in the end. So they will hate all the lies, the toxicity, and all the wrong stuff that the people in their family are doing. There will be real resistance in their hearts. Like they'll be like, I can't love this. And it will happen sometimes on a subconscious level. They won't even understand how it's happening. They will just hate all the nonsense that the people in their families are doing. So they will automatically value truth over survival. They can tell that, oh, there's something wrong with my family, there's something wrong with my parents, the way that they think, no. The way that my siblings think, no. The way that my relatives think, no. So they are able to see the truth because they won't be benefiting from the lie, but also because they want the truth, not the lie. They automatically want the truth, not the lie. So this is what happened when you're a black sheep of society. I know a lot of people who became broken because society didn't quite get them. Society confuses success with right. What do I mean? They think that the people who become successful are the ones who are doing the right things. So you look at someone who maybe like everyone hates in society, and you be like, I don't want to become like that. Let me give you a simple example. Let's say things went horribly wrong for me and I started suffering for real and I ended up homeless. And yeah, I ended up in the street. Nothing is going well in my life. You know what people would say? People who I grew up with, they'll be like, yo, there was when they're talking to their kids, they'll be like, yo, there was this guy, who used to oppose everything when he was growing up. He was not a Christian. He used to debate with Christians. Um, he's that guy that you pass in the street that's begging for coins all the time. That's the guy. You don't want to take that kind of path. Why? Because to them it's about survival. So they will try to use the worst example to justify their position. Be like, yo, you see, I was right all along because I chose to live life differently. I used to be friends with that guy, but he ended up in the street. He chose the wrong path, and you look at where he ended up. Look at me now. Look at how I'm doing. It's because what they value is survival, not the truth. Let me tell you something, and this is what I'm about to tell you is very, very important. If you value the truth and you suffer for it, don't let yourself suffer more by judging yourself, telling yourself that you're wrong, or doubting yourself. Because we do that to ourselves. If things don't go well for me because I'm real, because I speak the truth, because I don't want to live a lie, you know what I'm saying? I'll start to judge myself. But why? Why shouldn't I be like, you know what? Of course, it's a whole room. Like, what do I expect? Do I expect things to go well all the time in this room? Especially if I'm this real, especially if I'm not playing by the rules of the Matrix, what do I expect? Of course, I should be the one who should be attacked by the Matrix because I'm the one who's actually uh, doing things that the Matrix doesn't want me to do. So if you're a black sheep in your family, don't ever feel like you are wrong. Don't ever feel like there's something wrong with you. When I was growing up, the people that were not accepted in their families, that they were not understood in their families, they were the ones who, like when I communicate with them, they were the ones who were actually right. You find that the whole family is insane, and they're the only one who are actually sane. People outside of the family sometimes can see that, oh, that one is a black sheep of the family, but they're different. You see, if there were aliens that were observing us, they will know that you're the black sheep of society and they'll know that you're right. I mean, if they don't want people like you to thrive, they won't allow you to thrive, but they will know that you're right. The same way that if you were a slave owner, unless you were a hypocrite, if you were a slave owner and there was one slave that was like, I don't want to be a slave. Like, no, no damn way, bro. I ain't even gonna have kids. I ain't even having kids, bro, because I don't want them to go through the nonsense that uh the other slaves are going through. No fucking way I'll be a slave. You see? That slave, you know that the slave is right, but you ain't gonna like that slave. Why? Because he's gonna poison the other slaves. He like, ish, he might wake up the other slaves now. They might start to sing the truth. They might start seeing the truth. It's crazy how the ones who are right in society are being suppressed, bro. I used to think that people are being suppressed because, well, they're toxic and all of that. But I realized that it's also a strategy to suppress those who really speak the truth. If there is, if there isn't people who should be in fact, no one should be suppressed for anything really. Like if they're speaking, if they're telling us what they think, I don't think they should be suppressed. I don't think a person should be suppressed for saying whatever. I think people should be allowed to say anything. That is why, a couple of weeks back, I debated with this guy who's actually a racist, like a real racist. You know what I'm saying? Like a real racist. And I'm listening to this guy. Like I want to see where the guy is coming from. I'm not even being offended. Like say what you say. I will show you why you're wrong. Right? That's what I'm interested in. Is the truth. I think when we suppress people, we don't allow those who have better perspective to actually show everyone why that person. Let me give you a simple example with Andrew Tate, right? Andrew Tate, there were a lot of things that he was saying that obviously were wrong, right? There were a lot of things that he said that were true, but there are a lot of things that he said that were not true. And he got banned from like almost every social media platform. Let me tell you the truth. There are people who could have debated with Lee with him and who would have shown him how wrong he was. I can even give you the names of these people that I know could have debated with him, come up with valid arguments. I'm not talking about the guy who debated with him on live TV. Like those guys debate to win. To them, it's not even about the truth. There are people who don't even value truth, right? So they just want to find the worst thing that you have said and they just want to like kind of like ridicule you or something like that. But there are people who really care about the truth, who could have debated with this guy and embarrassed him for real and showed him that you're not right about everything that you're saying. And I mean, some things that you're saying, maybe there are some things that you're saying that are true, but some things that you're saying are not true. I believe that every opinion matters. We humans, bro, in a world that's truly brutal. Like you want to cancel people for opinions while there are worst things that are happening. Like really, bro, if we want to be intellectual, honest with ourselves, we shouldn't even be having children because there are worse things that are happening than people speaking their minds. Like if you want to be honest, think about it. I enjoy having conversations with people who don't agree with me. I enjoy if there's something that, bro, if there's something that I enjoy more than anything in this realm, is telling people that they are wrong and showing them why they are wrong without hatred, without anything like that. I don't like when I'm debating with people, there's not even a feeling of hatred in my heart. I listen to them and be like, okay, that's interesting. Let me tell you what is more true because that's what I value, right? That's what I've always valued. Being a black sheep in society isn't gonna make your life easy, and you must know that. One of the biggest mistakes that I made when I was growing up was believing that being right is actually gonna make my life better. So when things weren't going well, I'd be like, "What the hell is going on? I'm right. Why am I being treated like this? If I'm right, no, being right isn't gonna make people treat you well because society isn't right. Society is not right about a lot of things. In fact, if we need to be honest, society is not right about anything. Intellectual dishonesty is really what's causing suffering. Because almost every person that you meet is intellectually dishonest. And what's making it worse is that those who are intellectually honest are also afraid to become a black sheep. They're afraid to become black sheep. So what's happening is that even those who are intellectually honest, they act like those who are intellectually dishonest. You see, you act like an NPC even though you're not an NPC because you're trying to survive. So you're not a real black sheep. A black sheep is someone who really stand up for the truth, even if it means they're gonna suffer. I genuinely believe from the bottom of my heart that the best way for you as a person who's real and who values truth to live life is to be as real as people. I didn't say be as real as be as real as a real human can be. I said be as real as possible, like as real as possible for you, right? If if you are trying your best to be real, like okay, I'm still able to survive in the society, but I'm also real, then you're doing the right thing because you're growing at the same time. There's no growth if you're not gonna be real, bro. A lot of people are as fake as they come. I remember I was watching a video from what's the name of this channel? Damn, I forgot the name of the channel, but it was about antinatalism. And I was like, I even made a video on antinatalism in a. I have made video maybe 2 or 3 weeks back about antinatalism, but I haven't been making a lot of videos about antinatalism recently. And I should make a lot of videos about antinatalism. But it was about antinatalism, and I had not watched a video about antinatalism in a long time. So I'm watching this video, and I'm like, dude, there isn't even a single thing that this guy is saying that is wrong. Like this might be one of the best videos that I've watched on antinatalism, but somehow the world will not be able to understand what this guy is saying. That's because people are not intellectually honest. That is the real problem. There are people who watch my videos who have children who are intellectual honest and who will be like, I have children. I have 5 children. Some of them will even say that I don't really regret having children, but you're right. Some of them will be like, I regret having children. And you're right. They're intellectually honest. Sometimes I feel like crying when I see a kid that is real because I see myself. I'll be like, dang, that's me, bro. I don't know, man. I hope life doesn't treat you the way that it treated me because if you're real, society isn't really gonna treat you fairly. But don't sell your soul. Like one of the biggest mistakes that people make is that they sell their souls. Selling your soul is you standing up for standing for what you don't believe in. If you're real, you should be like, yeah, this is me, bro. This is what I think. Prove me wrong. Period. Like prove me wrong. I understand how you look at me. Maybe you think I'm the devil, it's fine, but prove me wrong. Prove to me that I am really wrong and I'm the devil. I'm a bad person for thinking the way that I think. Stop accepting nonsense and stop feeling bad for not accepting nonsense. Stop judging yourself for not accepting nonsense. Be a proud, be a proud black sheep of society. Like this is what I stand for, and I'm proud of it. Because what can you do, bro? Because you see, you have two options. It's either you're going to sell your soul and believe this nonsense that society believes, and be resentful, bitter, and angry all your life. Because you can say the truth. You're too conscious. You're too damn conscious to live a lie. So you can say the truth, but you're living a lie. Or you can be like, all right, man, this is the truth. I ain't gonna BS myself. This is the truth. This is what I think the truth is. What's gonna happen is that you become less angry. Even though the outside world is going to be against you by default. So you're gonna suffer because of that. It's like if you had a shitty boss at work, you knew that your boss was shitty, right? Like, nah, this boss, like this guy is just, but you never talk to him. Of course, you're gonna have anger in your heart, and maybe you take the anger out on other people. I know people who are abusive to their wives and their children because of their bosses. Like their bosses are treating them like shit, so they go back home with anger, and then they take it out on their wives because, well, they ain't got a lot to lose, I guess, when they treat their wives the way that they treat them. But if you are able to be like, yo, man, I don't like how you're treating me. I'm also a human. It's not like I'm dumb. You know what I'm saying? You're a boss of this company, and that's a good thing. You work hard to get this position, but also realize that I'm a human being too. You know, you're a human first before you even became a boss. So I don't like how you're treating me, especially in front of other people. If you say these kind of things, you will automatically feel free. Notice that when you tell the people who are mistreating you the truth, you automatically feel free. Automatically, that's how it happens. Be a proud black sheep of society, bro. Be a proud black sheep of life. Be a proud black sheep of consciousness. Be the proudest black sheep in the universe. Period. Intellectual dishonesty has caused more problems than a lot of people realize. I'm telling you, people not valuing truth is really the cause of all our problems. It's people not valuing truth. That's it. That's it. Do you understand that if, as a collective, we all value the truth, we'll be free? All of us. If every person in society value the truth, everyone will be. That's it. The only thing that's lacking in our society is truth. And what sucks is that there are forces that are working very hard to suppress those who speak. You know what I'm saying? Those who are honest, those who will tell it like it is, you are automatically going to be suppressed. Think about people who work for media, like who work in media, for an example, who work for media companies. There are things they can't say. They'll be they'll get fired. People get fired for saying something that they shouldn't get fired for. There's a guy who works for a podcast in South Africa who got fired. Listen, he didn't even like he works for a radio station. He got fired for saying something on his podcast. You're like, what the hell? Because people are trying to survive and be like, well, I can't say this, I can't say that because I'm afraid of getting fired. It needs to get to a point where you're like, ah, man, it is what it is. If I end up being nothing, if I end up being broke, end up being in the street, it is what it is. I'm still gonna stand up for the truth because what should I do? Why should I protect the lie that people are protecting if I can see that it's a lie? Truth matters, bro. What really matters is the truth. That's it. That's what's really gonna set you free. Some people say, truth ain't gonna set you free. No, 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 truth is setting you free. If you're valuing truth, it's automatically saying it's setting you free. If you value truth at the listen, if you value the highest truth, you will be free. Even me, I'm not free. If I'm still getting there, right? But if I reach a level where the highest truth was what I valued, I will automatically be free, like automatically. I'm getting there, I'm growing. I'm learning every day. I wasn't as truthful as I am now 5 years ago. So there's real growth here. And sometimes you should take it one step at a time. You're still here. You mustn't abuse yourself, I guess. Right? Take it one step at a time. Be like, okay, there's this truth that I wasn't accepting, that I wasn't speaking, that I wasn't leaving. Let me work on that for now. And then you work on it, and then you be like, well, there's this other truth. And then you keep on working. You're working, you're working, you're working, you're working. And then you're reaching the highest level of truth. I am a white person and I only know one or two real people like me. I am drawn to those who look different than I. I have always felt the truth from those who are the origin people and those like you. I like people who see beyond race, beyond skin color, beyond beyond everything that people judge, people based on, really, who just want the truth. I remember I was having a conversation with this other guy. I think it was a month ago. I was telling him about, so that these people in South Africa, they're called Afrikaners. We call them the Bulls. I was telling that I was watching this other interview where this other guy was being interviewed about us black people. The guy was not racist, but he was talking about what he didn't like about us, and I was like, I agree with him. And if we all as black people were able to see what he was saying about us, it will make things easier for us. We will actually evolve. You mustn't be like, I hate a person because of their skin color or because of their even their perspectives. Like, you mustn't hate them. You must actually allow people to help you grow. Sometimes you can learn from your own enemies, bro. If someone is speaking the truth, like, here's the thing: only value the truth. Period. If someone is speaking the truth, value that. You'll know if it's true. That is why, one of the biggest compliment that a lot of people have given me is that I'm never offended. And it's true. No one can offend me if they are telling me, even if they hate me, even if what they're saying to me comes from hatred. But if they're telling me something that is true, I can never be offended. A person can tell me something that is true about myself that hurts me, but it won't offend me. I'll be like, okay, actually, this person is right. They're telling me one of the mistakes that other people are not telling me. The mistakes that I'm making, one of the mistakes that I'm making, but other people are not telling me. So let me work on that. So this thing of racism, like, oh, these are the only people that I'm going to communicate with. These are the only people that I'm going to listen to. These are the only people that I'm going to be friends with. It shows that people, you don't value truth. Like, how can you even be a racist? It doesn't even make sense because of skin color, bro. It really does. It's I can't even explain how dumb it is to be a racist. Like, it's the dumbest, bro. What you must value is the truth as you evolve. Whether that means you're going to be a black sheep or not. Let me post the link to my Discord. I want to say something about Discord right now. If you want to join our Discord, I've just posted the link in the comment. There are a lot of people that I've communicated with. Or some people sometimes complain that I don't usually like talk to people in the community, in the channels themselves, right? Because we have different channels. If you send me a message, we are talking, period. If you call me and you want us to have a voice call, we're going to arrange when we can have a voice call. We're going to be communicating. There are a lot of people that I've communicated with who have told me about their own lives, like how they grew up, and I'll be like, dang, you're a black sheep, bro. And what's funny, from what you're telling me, I can see you're right. But I find that the person is telling me that there's something wrong with them because of how they were treated. Be like, no, expect the world to treat you that way. Expect your own family to treat you that way. It needs to get to a point where you get it. You're like, oh, this is how they're gonna treat me if I'm operating at this level of consciousness. Like you expect it. It's like if you I remember I watched a video of Justin Bieber. He was being followed by the paparazzi and he got angry. And you can't get angry, you're Justin Bieber. You must know that at your level, there's gonna be people who are gonna be following you to take pictures of you. So he was like, I have a family, I'm a father. Like, yeah, I mean, that's how they're gonna treat you. Like Kanye West also acts like that. That's how they're gonna treat you. If you're famous, that's exactly how people are gonna treat you. If you're operating at a high level of consciousness, people are gonna treat you how they're treating you. That's how it works. Whether we like it or not, that's how it actually works. When you get to a certain level of understanding, racism becomes now when you realize we were just put into these differentials, we eventually leave and come back in different ones each time. Yeah, I hope reincarnation is not even real, but yeah, man, we just put it. It's like if you hate someone because it's a male, or you hate someone because it's a female, it's bro. We're just in different bodies in different prisons, no matter how you want to look at bodies. You know what I'm saying? It's weird, bro. Like, since I was young, I never understood racism. I never understood tribalism. That is why, and if you truly want to evolve, you should never let, you should never be a racist. You should never be a tribalist. You should never hate. You should never hate anyone because they live in a different town. Like the beefs that people like Pac and Biggie had. That's stupid. All of that is stupid. You must see past all of that. You must see past all of it. What's gonna happen is that you're going to learn from different people, and that's gonna help you grow. If I'm a black person who is racist, then it means I can't learn from a white person. So if there's a white person who's operating at a very high level of consciousness, and I come across their channel on YouTube, I can't watch the videos because I'm racist. Do you see what the problem is? So I can't learn from them. But if I'm not racist and then I come across their channel, I'm watching, I'm learning, and I evolve because of that. I'm not biased. That's one of the benefits of being the black sheep, bro. Like me, growing up, even now, I've always been a black sheep. I've always been the person that never truly fits in. I could never fit in anyway. Ever since I was young, ever since like when I went to preschool, that's when I realized that I was a black sheep. I realized that I can't really fit in. Like I'm always gonna be a weirdo. I'm always gonna be the old one out. Like I'm always gonna be the person that the other people don't truly understand. Teachers won't really understand me. The other students won't really understand me. Their parents won't really understand me. And I grew up like that. I never was really understood. Even my own parents, they didn't really understand me. My father didn't understand me. And what's beautiful is that I did love my father. He passed away. He passed away last year in September. Me and him would have like, these messed up conversations about things, and we're not agreeing on things that I knew I was right about. But I didn't judge him. I knew that I was different. I knew that maybe I can't be the way that he is, because he wanted me to be like him. He wanted me to see life the way that he sees life, to be able to do the things that he does. And I'll tell him that there are things that I do that you can't do. There are things that there are things that I do that you can't do. You know what I'm saying? The things that you do that I can't do, the things that I do. So we're different in that way, and we should not have a problem with that. But yeah, in my family, I know that I've always been the black sheep. I've always been the one who's different. You know, now I own. There's I'm left with like two siblings and my mother. They're all Christians. And it goes to a point where I don't even have a problem with it. I'm like, you can go to church, it's fine. But they understand where I stand. My mother used to force me to go to church when I was young. When I still did believe in God, but I still wanted to play. You find that you're playing with your friends, and your mother's like, yo, go to church. You're like, I'm not going to church, I'm playing with my friends. But yeah, as I grew older, I realized that the way that I think is not the way that my parents think. It's not the way that my siblings think. It's not the way that my relatives think. It's not the way that my community thinks. It's not the way that society thinks. In general, like I'm very different. So obviously, I'm not going to experience life the way that other people experience life. Um, People always want to belong to their own group. And you see that very clearly when, when you look at how people live lives in prisons, like how they live their lives in prison, right? They, they the Puerto Ricans want to be with other Puerto Ricans. Black people want to be with other black people. Mexicans want to be with other Mexicans. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that also when it comes to life itself. People who think the same want to be with people who think like them. You see the problem? All right, guys, let me take a small break. I'll be back. You can keep on commenting. When I come back, I'll be reading some comments before we continue to talk about what I'm talking about. Nothing is ours. We're just renting for a fixed period of time. Homes, money, family, everything. We don't take it with us. Birth, life, death, memory wipe, repeat. Remember when I say that if there's something that's gonna save us, it's truth. Like how many of us truly understand? How many of us truly understand it? How many of us truly understand that nothing belongs to us? It's the lies that we tell ourselves that's making, like, that's maximizing our suffering. So truth is the only thing that's going to liberate us as conscious beings. It's us being intellectually honest with ourselves, you know, not telling ourselves things that like to the things that comfort us. We should tell ourselves the highest truth. What is really the highest truth? So if I know for sure that nothing really belongs to me in this realm, and I believe that deep down in my heart, will I ever feel pain if I lose something? I might not prefer losing it, but I won't really feel pain because it wasn't mine and I knew that. Would you feel pain if someone borrowed you their car and you knew you were going to return it and then you return it? Would you really feel pain? Or you feel pain if you thought they were giving you the car? I remember when in 2015, I was working with this lady. She was my boss. She had a lot of money. So you know what she did? It was around the time when I discovered that I have an eye problem. The optometrists came and they were testing our eyes, and I realized that I can't see like other people can. You know, I'm not able to read the alphabets that other people are able to read. So she was like, I'm gonna give you my glasses. Maybe they'll work for you." So she gave me, and I was able to see better, even though it was not my prescription. I was able to see better. I've used these glasses for 3 months until I decided to go to a doctor. I like the frame. So until I went to a doctor to get my own prescription, but I still kept the frame. So I was like, I'm gonna use this frame. You only gonna change the prescription. That's it. So they did change the prescription. 2 weeks later, she's like, "Where are my glasses?" I'm like, "What the hell? You gave me the glasses. You didn't say you were borrowing me. You said you were giving me." She's like, "No, I didn't give you. I borrowed you." So that hurt because I thought the glasses were mine. And I told her I changed the prescription. She's like, "Why would you do that?" I was like, "But you gave me." So I had to pay him money. I was like, "Yo, people, man. I don't know," because she did give me. You understand? Look, if someone tells you they have an eye problem and you said, "I'm gonna give you my glasses," you didn't say, "I'm borrowing you." You know what I'm saying? She didn't say, "I'm gonna borrow you my glasses," anything like that. She said, "I will give you my glasses." So maybe I should have asked for permission from her to change the lenses. I don't know. But I thought she gave me the glasses. I thought the glasses were mine. So her saying what you were saying did hurt me. But if I knew that she borrowed me the glasses, it wouldn't hurt me because it's not my glasses. So that's the thing. It's thinking that this thing is ours, feeling like we own anything in this thing, in this room. We don't. Vendetta. The first small talk about sports, the weather, television, jobs becomes disgusting when you realize it's because people are afraid to remain silent. Yeah, man. Some people love small talks, but I don't know if it's because they're afraid to remain silent. I think they just love small talk. The reason why small talks are boring is because you want to have real conversations with people, man. You want to have, like, if you are used to having like, if you know that you can't really expect real conversations, you know you can't expect to have real conversations with other people. You really you get to a point where you just hate having conversations with other people because there is something much deeper that you want to talk about. You know what it's like? It's like if you were living with someone and you had a problem with this person and they kept on talking about small things, you know, they kept on trying to have a conversation with you but about small things that will annoy you. So that's why you hate more small talks. You know there's real things that we must be talking about rather than sports, weather. I hate talking about weather, bro. Yeah, like stuff like that. Sometimes I do enjoy talking about sports if it's with a person that loves the same sports that I love. But in general, I don't want to talk about, like, I don't want to have small talks because I feel like there are things that we can talk about. I love having conversations with people, but I love having conversations about things that I think should be a priority. I hate the fact that we can get sick in this room, bro. Then you wake up and our show starts demanding we feed and shelter it off to the slave field job to make enough to sustain the meat suit another day. Yeah, man, it tells you a lot about this reality. The fact that we have to, the fact that we have responsibilities that we didn't even agree to is a dead giveaway. You know, it shows you what kind of realm we're living in. Yeah, it shouldn't be like this. You know how life should be like? It should be you should be able to be in this state where you need nothing. You can survive in the state without doing anything. You don't have to work, you don't have to have money, you don't have to eat, you don't have to drink, you don't have to do anything, you don't even have to breathe. But you choose to experience some realities. So you choose to experience a reality like this, but also know that you chose to experience a reality like this. You should never forget that. I think that's how life should be. You wouldn't feel like a slave because you could actually choose to exit at any time since you know what reality really is. There wouldn't be many lies that we're telling ourselves that are making us suffer in this room. Can you imagine, bro? There was this you can wake up to this reality where you don't need anything at all. You're just you. Nothing is needed. But then there are realms where maybe in some of these realms you need to breathe, you need fresh air, you need water, you need food, so you just choose to be in this realm, right? The same way that you choose to play a video game, right? In some of these video games there are things that you need. The character that you're playing needs these things, so you do these things, you know, they're not even, you know, the whole thing is not real. So that's fun, bro. That's the reason why video games are fun. Do you think that video games would be fun if you didn't know they were video games? So that's what's making this horrible. That you have to shit, you have to eat, you have to find a shelter. You can't sleep in the street. It's cold. It's not safe. Someone might try to rob you. Someone might try to kill you. Dogs might try to bite you. Like a lot of things can happen. So of course that's torture, bro. Benedict, you familiar with the research being called by Nathanis Gellis? Really interesting perspective regarding the entities, forces behind this matrix. No, I don't know anything about it. You can tell me more about it because I don't know a lot about it. The worst part is that there is more than enough resources and land for us all. Free energy tech exists. You can use resonant frequency to generate cellular rejuvenation. So no need for food. Yeah, I think a lot of things we don't really need, but because we're supposed to be slaves, it seems like we need these things. I remember I watched a video of this guy who I think he was using, what was he using? He was using as petrol for his car. He was not using petrol. I do believe that it would have been possible for us to use seawater as petrol, for example, or water in general as petrol. But we are supposed to be slaves. We're supposed to be paying for petrol, right? So they don't allow that to happen. I think the people who are at the top don't want. Right, we're still live. I don't know what happened there. I don't usually have a network problem, but we're still here. Truth sets you free from what? Their own ignorance. It doesn't set you free all the time, as in you can always tell the truth. Not in the world we're in. No, it does set you free. You know what the problem is? It's our attachments. If you truly, if really deep down in your heart what you wanted is to be free, truth automatically sets you free. It sets you free from all the illusions. It will make you realize who loves you and who doesn't. You know that people, if you tell them the truth, they'll leave you. Your own parents will stop talking to you, some of them. So it sets you free from the lies. Do you get what I'm saying? The people who are not reading your life, people who are faking your life. Once you start speaking the truth, these people leave. So it does set you free, but it depends on what your highest value is. If your highest value is truth, truth will literally be setting you free by default. It's not an easy Listen, it's not an easy process. It's a very painful process, but it doesn't mean that it doesn't set you free. It does. The only thing that's going to set us free is truth. Trust me. We just need to be strong enough to embrace it, to be strong enough to embrace the consequences of choosing truth over everything. And that's when the truth will be waiting for us. In the TV show Highway to Heaven, the angel in the show doesn't having to sleep or eat in human form. The fact that we need to eat is a bigger sign that we're in a hell room. It's literally the biggest sign, because what do we even eat? We eat living beings, plants, living beings, animals, living beings. Can talk about crops, be like, they're not alive. No, they are alive, bro. They're growing, they breathe. So everything you eat is alive. So doesn't that tell you something about this realm? Do we really need to go deep to prove that this is a whole room? I keep on giving people the simplest example. If a person kidnapped 10 people, put them in a room and said, the last one standing is the one who survives, they are not in a good situation, because they will have to kill everyone. And there has to be one person who's going to survive. And that's how it works in this room. Chickens that you be eating. How many chickens have you eaten in your life? How many living beings had to die for you to survive? How many living beings had to die because you wanted to eat something? Do you get what I'm saying? So it becomes very obvious that this is a hell room. If this wasn't a hell room, we wouldn't even need to eat anything. You just be. But what kind of game is this? Where we need to kill and there needs to be suffering. When these animals are being killed, there's suffering. They don't want to be killed, but also when they're being killed, they feel pain. Is that pain necessary? So it becomes obvious what kind of realm that we live in. This is the kind of truth that makes you the black sheep. This is the kind of truth that makes people hate you, but it is really the truth. It's there are truths that we can see about reality, and there are truths that you reach by thinking. Again, now I'm telling you that it's philosophy that will get us to the highest truth. So you need to think even if you're not getting confirmation that what you're thinking is the truth. But as long as you're thinking, you're on the right path. So as we evolve, thinking is important. Do you ever wish you're still ignorant so you could live in bliss? Not at all. Ignorance isn't even bliss, bro. I know people are suffering because they're ignorant. Trust me, that's a lie. Don't ever let people lie to you. Ignorance is not bliss. I know people are making stupid mistakes because they're ignorant. You might actually be suffering less than you would be suffering if you were still ignorant because you would have made a lot of stupid decisions. So ignorance is in bliss because you can make a lot of decisions because of ignorance. And there's something that I've realized. I'm gonna tell you what I've realized. A lot of people might not even realize what I'm about to tell you. I'm gonna tell you. It's something that I've realized about suffering. Do you know that there are people who are suffering more than you? They just don't acknowledge that they're suffering because they're intellectually dishonest. So you look at these people and you're like, oh, this person is not suffering because they're ignorant. No, they're actually suffering, but they are unable to acknowledge that. You are able to acknowledge your suffering because you're intellectually honest. So ignorance is not bliss. Even the most ignorant people be suffering. They just don't acknowledge it the way that you do. So it seems like you're suffering more than them. Do you see the problem? So ignorance is not bliss, bro. You need to know. You need to see things as they are. The lesson period. Truth can be a burden too. It depends. It depends on what your highest value is. Like if your highest value is truth, then it can be a burden. But if look, and I think this is what's very difficult about being a human. We still want to enjoy life, right? And we want the truth. The problem is this: if we haven't really made a choice whether we're going to choose the truth or to enjoy, there's always going to be a battle within. Because if I want to enjoy and I'm seeking the highest truth, the truth that I'm seeking is going to make it hard for me to enjoy. Let me give you this example. Let's say you are at a park, you're having fun. The truth was that that park wasn't really a park. It's a place where the owners of the park created so that they can kidnap people without no one noticing. If you knew the truth, it would make it harder for you to enjoy. So what will matter is whether you value the truth or not. So if you value the truth, then that will set you free. Be like, damn, I ain't gonna be in a park like that. But if you still want to have fun, then that truth will be a burden. Do you see what I'm saying? What if we all died in 2012 in some kind of global disaster? All right, I'm coming back, guys. Keep on commenting, keep on telling me what you think so that I can keep on reading the comments. And yeah, we will, um, yeah, we'll keep on, we will keep this life going for as long as we can. I really like a girl, but she's very religious and doesn't know I'm an atheist. Do you think it would work out? Mm, in most cases, it doesn't. But also remember something that I think a lot of guys don't realize. If a girl really likes you, bro, she will still like you no matter what she believes. I was having a conversation with my cousin. I think it was last week. My cousin visited me last week. So we're having a conversation about relationships. It was like, if a girl likes you, even if you're a gangster, she will still love you. She could be a Christian and you're a gangster and she still actually loves you. You rob people and she knows that if she loves you, she loves you. She doesn't love you. Like love isn't rational. You don't love a person because you're choosing to love them. That is why women end up choosing the guys that they say they don't want. Right? You listen to a girl online talking about what the perfect guy is, and she's describing this guy that she's not dating, that she doesn't even love, right? So, yeah, if she loves you, it depends on that. It depends on if she really loves you, because you mustn't even try to change for a woman. Period. They're controlled by their emotions, bro. If it's the guy that she likes, if he could be a satanist, right? Like, you know, if like the devil really existed, she will still love the guy. She, you know what she'll tell herself? She can change the guy. She'll make excuses to love him. So don't ever worry about that. If being in a relationship is that important to you, but also remember what kind of realm that you're living in. Revelation 7:7 says, because we quantum immortal, we can't experience that. That's the scariest thing for me personally, because I think there's a real possibility that you never truly experience death. I think chances are when you die, you just wake up and it won't even feel like death. It'll feel like the whole experience that you had isn't even real. You just wake up and explain to the people that you're going to talk to, oh, I was having this weird dream, blah, 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 blah. I think that's exactly what's going to happen. I think our dreams are giving us clues about reality. We just too addicted to these that a part of us don't want to look at it the same way that we look at dreams. But I think quantum immortality is a real thing that you don't actually die. Or when you're about to die, you shift to another reality. So you do die, but you don't experience dying. So other people they are the only ones who see you die, I guess. But you don't experience that. Maybe you've died before, but you never actually experienced dying. There's Fat Demon says, Benny, since you're a movie buff, why are your top five movies? Why are your top five films? I don't like movies anymore, but I'll give you my top five. I'll give you my top five, right? But I'm not gonna give you my top five in order. I like Inception, starring Leonardo DiCaprio. Like that movie, just watch it. If you haven't watched Inception, but I think everyone watched Inception. Like, how can a person not have watched Inception? Inception, The Matrix. Just watch all of them. But The Matrix. Okay, let's keep on going. I need to. I need to make sure that I'm giving you my real top five because I've watched a lot of movies, right? So we're talking Inception. We're talking The Matrix, of course. Like who who have not watched The Matrix? If you've not watched The Matrix and you watch my videos, I don't know, man. So it's Inception, The Matrix, Shutter Island, and let me tell you why I love Shutter Island. Shutter Island. A lot of people think the movie is boring. I love Shutter Island because it's about a person who's being told that they're mentally sick, and but in their direct experience, they're not. So it will make you question a lot about existence itself, right? It will make you question a lot about society. Like if you're watching it uh, already doubting your reality, So Shutter Island is also it's also a brilliant movie. I like the Truman Show. The Truman Show shows you what's possible. That even the people that you live with could be agents. In a room like this, anyone could be an agent, and you don't even know that. These you're living with agents. You just think that every person that you interact with is real. They are on your side. So let me think. There's a couple of movies that I'm thinking of, but I want to give you the final one. I want to give you the final one. Oh, and also, please tell me in the comments what movies you like, because sometimes I do like to watch movies. The final one should be. I think the final one should be Tenet. Tenet. And I think the reason why I love Tenet is because I've never watched a movie like it. Like everything is moving backwards, right? Like things. You understand this idea where things are happening in reverse. The whole movie is happening in reverse. It's also those kind of movies that make you question reality itself. right? So yeah, I would say those are my top five. Um, but I still want to think about honorable mentions. I still want to think about honorable mentions. Movies like damn, what the name of this movie? Tell me the name of the movie in the comments. I know one of you have watched this movie where there's many floors, right? So the people at the top they eat. When they eat food, they leave the food for the people at the bottom, and the people at the bottom they eat the food, leave it for the people who are below them. I think that's also a good movie. I watched it like 2 or 3 times. I also like that movie. It's one of the movies that I should recommend because it's how the world works, right? Yeah, but the movies that I gave you are my favorite. Someone says you took your glasses and then modified them. No, she gave me the glasses. You can't say I took them. It is not my fault. The lady gave me the glasses. I'm telling you. Do you think it will ever be possible to make a significant number of people in the world see it for what it is? Because even now, folks are still fighting over BS instead of seeing the real issue. No, 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 that's completely impossible. People ain't waking up, bro. If people were supposed to wake up, they will wake up on their own. They wouldn't even need you to tell them the truth. They will actually wake up on their own. If a person reaches the age of 30, they should be able to see the truth without anyone telling them the truth. They should be able to be searching for people who speak the truth without being forced, without someone actually like forcing telling them that, oh, this is the kind of content that you must watch, these are the kind of books that you must read, this is how you must think. It's impossible, bro. I've had conversations with a lot of people, and I can tell you, not everyone is going to see the world as it is. Some people are way too ignorant. That is why some people are the black sheep of the family, is because some people will never wake up. So even if you're right in your family, they will never understand you because, well, they can't. So it's impossible. Like, I don't even think that there's anything that can happen that will make people wake up. I don't think like there's anything that can happen. That is why you must not care what other people think. Focus on your own growth. Focus on your own enlightenment without focusing on other people because they lie to themselves a lot, bro. So of course, uh, that will make it difficult for people to wake up. Blackpool says we are in a spiritual prison ruled by Enki and Marduk and Sodom and the serpent. I mean, how sure are you that those translations are real, right? I do see that maybe Zachariah stations was closer to the truth, but we can't really be sure. But yeah, it doesn't make sense. But I think it's more complicated than we think. I think there might be some things that we might have missed. You know, it's not. I don't think it will be that easy to translate a language that doesn't that we don't speak anymore. Right? The modern civilization doesn't even speak anymore. But it's interesting that like those the depictions of like the things that like the things on those stones that we saw, they are very interesting. Humans holding monkeys, some of them treating humans like they're dogs, them being bigger than humans and having wings and all of that. That's all of that is interesting, but we can't be too sure. I think sometimes we just choose to believe some things because uh, we're comfortable believing these things, I guess. But I wouldn't say there's like we should be sure that that is the truth. Oh, yeah, the name of the movie is The Platform. No, thank you, Sound Boys. You see, that's the thing I like about the people who watch my videos, bro. We are s- we are alike on so many, like we're the same on so many levels, right? I mean, the live only has like 50 people, I think. Uh so for someone to actually know the name of the movie, it's not like a very popular movie, you know. So for someone to be able to remind me the movie, it shows you something. The Last Emperor says Chris Nolan must be a Gnostic. 100%, bro. Even if he doesn't know that, he must be a Gnostic. It's actually my favorite. Like his movies, bro, they literally open your eyes. Like even if this is what I like about being a deep thinker. You learn from everything. Look, I learn from every situation. I could watch a video on TikTok of someone talking and I'm learning a lot. So if I watch a movie that has like hidden messages about reality, dude, I'm learning a lot. That is why two of my favorite movies produced like by the same person, Christopher Nolan. It's Inception and then Shutter Island, and the other movies that I've watched. Oh, Tenet actually, it's three of my favorite movies. Tenet, so it's three of my favorite movies. But there are other movies that he produced that are good. There's Memento. Memento is a very good movie, and I should have also mentioned it because it was a very good movie. Like the guy is good, bro. Like he must be a gnostic. He might just not know it. I watched Flame the King of Comedy last weekend. What's that film? I haven't watched it. If you had an option of forgetting everything you learn in order to become blissfully happy and ignorant, would you do it? Not at all, bro. That is a trap. Understanding the truth and not forgetting the truth is the most important thing to me. I need to know and never ever forget. That's what's gonna be. Like, what kind of happiness can you even achieve? Like, think about it. Not in this realm. Like, it's all a trap. You need to know. You need to know first to even try to achieve happiness. Knowledge is that important. So no, I'll never choose that. I'll never choose to forget anything that I know. Even if there are things that I know that are painful. You see, I grew from pain. I realized the truth because of pain. You get what I'm saying? I evolved because of the pain that I felt. I'm not saying pain is good. What I'm saying is that because we're in a hell room, you're not supposed to forget the pain. Do you get what I'm saying? Because you need to set yourself free in the end. So how are you going to be free if you're forgetting that you're in a hell room in the first place? Oh, the Last Imperial said Everything Everywhere All at Once is a good mention. Nah, very good movie. I watched that movie. Very brilliant. What I liked, what I liked the most about the movie is the girl that traveled across the Maldives. Like she experienced everything that can be experienced, and because of that, she wanted reality to collapse completely and end because she has experienced everything and she felt like everything was meaningless. I love her philosophy. I love the way that she views life. It is a very brilliant movie. You know, it's one of those movies that everyone should watch. It's like, yeah, if you experience everything, then you end up realizing that nothing really means anything really at the end of the day. So yeah, that's also a very great movie. Final Destination is a good one. Yeah, Final Destination movies are good, especially the last one. I think it's called The Bloodline. From Final Destination, The Bloodline. Like that one is a very brilliant movie. Because the other Final Destination movies, I feel like they don't really there isn't any meaning that you can attach to it. But the last one, there are a lot of things that you can uh attach meaning to. So that's why I like the last one. Gataga is a good one. I don't know that movie. What is it about? Because I must watch new movies, man. Black Sheep. What about a wolf? What about being a lone wolf? No, that's also a good thing. I always like I'm obsessed with wolves, bro. Especially like the ones that walk alone. The highest awakening is realizing you are the only one here and you are making everything up like a dream. Yeah, but let's talk about solipsism some other time. You know, solipsism is my favorite philosophy, right? Maybe the answer is to just learn what you have to, but also remain detached and not care so much while being internationalist. I like the fact that you also like mentioned the word internationalist. Yeah, one of the biggest problems is that we are attached to things. That's a real problem. There isn't anything that has ever hit me in this room that I wasn't attached to. So being attached is actually dangerous because you end up suffering. Because here's the thing, things usually don't go well in this room. So let's say you are attached to a lot of things. That means that you're opening yourself up to suffering by default. So if you're attached to nothing because nothing really goes well, then not a lot of things are going to affect you. You see? So yeah, being remaining as detached as possible is very important. If you want to be attached to things, it must just be things that you do for fun. I told you guys that I like playing snooker. Sometimes I win, sometimes I lose, but that's not a that's not a big thing like that. I just play snooker for fun. So even if I lose, it's not a big deal. I'm not gonna stress at night because I lost a snooker game. But imagine being attached to people, for an example. When you lose them, it's a big deal. It takes time for you to recover. Imagine if you're attached to uh, if you're attached to money, if you're attached to objects, you know what I'm saying? It becomes a big deal. So the best thing is to remain as detached as possible. Yes, of course, if you are living in this realm, you will be attached to some things, but try to be, try not to be as, try not to be too attached, right? And if you can detach yourself, then be as detached as possible. I think that's the best way to live life in this matrix because nothing truly belongs to you at the end of the day. So what? Why should you be that attached? Some people do live their entire lives ignorant and even attain happiness by doing so. I don't think so, bro. People just lie about their happiness. I remember it was this other day. I'm with my friend. He's got this girl. We were inside his room playing music. So there were two girls. So this girl, he had this girl, and she came with a friend, and yeah, we're having fun together. So I remember her philosophy. She was like, "Yo, just be happy. You know, there's nothing to care about. Just be happy and all of that. Let's dance. Not this. Not this. Not this." Her and my friend got into it, like the relationship became deeper, and she started telling him about her problems, sending him WhatsApp texts about her problems, about her depression, all of that. But when I first met her, the way she was talking, it's as if she didn't even have problems. Like she was very ignorant. She didn't care. But people lie. You're just not that close, so they don't really tell you their problems. So you think people are happy. You remember, people want to fit in, especially people like you as a black sheep or a black sheep. You don't really care that much about fitting in, but other people do care about fitting in. So they'll never tell you about the problems. That is why some people end their lives and everyone is shocked. Like, I thought this person was happy. They weren't even talking about their problems. They weren't even talking about what they're not comfortable with in this reality. So it seems like you are not doing good because you talk, and they're doing good because they don't talk. They're just pretending. So no, ignorance is in bliss. Trust me, bro. Donnie Darko was a good movie, good concept, way ahead of its time. I haven't watched it, but I've heard about it. Koreans make some great movies, still not overly ruined by wokeness. Yeah, I've realized that. I've realized that. Divergent is one of the best movies to make you question reality. David, just tell me what it's about. Maybe I can watch it. I can watch it after this live. Identity is a social construct. When you meet a complete stranger, you have no idea who they are. The concept of having an identity is sometimes society created to feel comfort. Yeah, man, everything is made up. I like this scene from the movie, the TV series Atlanta, where like Derry said, everything is made up. Stay woke. So yeah, even I like everything is made up. The Colony Nice horror film. I haven't watched that one. Damn, in this I have to rewatch this live so I can find movies to watch. If I had known this was a live, I would have joined. My brother thought this was a video you uploaded. How? So it didn't seem, but you here now. You here now. Oh, you mean you would have joined earlier? Xenon the alien. Being internet is key component to being the tide. If you have children, you become attached. Yeah, man. Like, how can you have children and not care? Because if you're gonna bring someone into this world, you have to care. If you wake up in the middle of the night and you hear your child crying, you have to care. You have to try to figure out what the problem is, right? You can't just be like, I'm just gonna be detached, right? But if you don't have children, there isn't a person that you are responsible for. So if so really, if there's someone maybe that you want to be responsible for is yourself. Let me take a small break. Keep on commenting, and I'm gonna be responding to every comment. Guys, let's join the Discord server because after this live, we're going straight to Discord. No, now I'm posting the live. Wait, let me get the link to the Discord. Yeah, I would like us to have a voice call. Like people can join, like as many people as possible. We can have a communication on Discord. Okay, let's read the comments now. The move, the game is also a good one. You guys should add to watch. No, I've watched the game. Yeah, very brilliant movie. So you think life could be like the movie, the game? Like everyone tells you that it was not real. All of it, it was actually not real. You're all good. It's not even a hell room. You think that's what's gonna happen in the end? Like, what kind of prank would that be? What's your thoughts on internalists, folks who think the solution is to just not produce to end the hell realm? Internalists have made the right decision, bro. Like, I think the best decision that you can make to end suffering as a human is to not procreate. I think that's the best decision. Like, what else can you do? If you decide that, hey, I'm not bringing any other person here to experience this, you've made the right decision. It means you're not a hypocrite. You're not living a lie, basically. Because if you're going to be bringing people, you kind of saying that this is good. I know that people have brought people here before they decided to realize how messed up the whole thing is. But if you are fully woke and you still feel like that is a good thing, I don't know, man. Gataga is about genetically engineered society where one man of a natural birth, not genetically engineered, succeeds and manages to become an astronaut despite all the people's discouragement. Hmm, that might be good. That might be a good movie. No, I need to check that movie out. Sons Boy says platform is the name of the movie with the levels and food and yeah, it is. It is. I remember. I just couldn't remember the name at first. What's your view on quantum immortality? We've already spoken about it. Like it's possible, it's very possible that we don't actually experience death. We should debate the so-called South African prophet. I mean, the guys do know they're lying. I think at this point they should know they're lying. Maybe they did believe that the visions that they had were real and all of that, but at this point, because I mean, the guy predicted that it was going to happen on the 20th. The guy who predicted the rapture, for example, he thought that it was gonna like it was gonna happen on the 23rd, but it didn't happen, and then he still thought it was gonna happen today. It still didn't happen. So I think all these prophets know they're lying. All of them at this point. What are your thoughts on semen retention? Let me tell you this: if you can practice semen retention and you still can control your emotions, no anger, and it's improving your life, trust me, that's actually that's better than having to jack off every day because you lose a lot of energy or having sex all the time. And I think jacking off is actually much worse than having to ejaculate for sex. I think you lose a lot of energy when you jack off than when you have sex. So, yeah, semen retention gives you a lot of energy. You don't lose energy. Let me put it that way. You don't actually lose energy. So I think it's a positive thing. Plus, it helps you with discipline. You're able to discipline yourself more because it's much harder to control your sexual urges than sex is the worst addictions that we have as humans. You can. It's much easier to conquer other addictions than it is to by sexual addiction. That's the thing. Do you know the YouTuber prison called Life? Nah, yeah, yeah. I do know him. We've spoken before on Instagram call. I know. Sinon the Ellen, how do we know if what we are hearing is the truth just because something is negative and hard to digest doesn't make it the truth either? All right. I want to try and answer that. I think if you know deep within that you are intellectually honest, so to you, it's not about survival, it's not about benefiting anything, it's just about what makes sense. Whatever level that you're going to reach is going to be a level that has truth in it as you grow. Think about it. Let me give you this simple example. Let's say you're a judge. You're supposed to judge a case. One of the people involved in the case gives you money, and you care about survival more than you care about the truth. That means you're going to be too biased, right? But if you care about the truth, your intellectual honesty is going to lead you to it. So if, for example, your intellectual honesty leads you to lies, you're not going to have peace. So because you're not going to be having peace, you'll be seeking for truth. Have you ever been in a situation where you're looking for truth, but you find something that is not really true and you don't have peace because you keep on asking a lot of questions? So you know when something is true when there's no contradictions anymore, there's peace. You're like, this is it. There's no contradictions. I'm not trying to survive. I'm not trying to find comfort or anything. I'm just trying to find the truth. How are you coping with these levels of suffering that are unbearable and unbearably exaggerated? Uh, I think I've just gotten used to it more than anything. I think you get used to these things. But I wouldn't say, I don't know if I should even say I'm coping. I just think I'm just used to it. It's like if you listen to your own body now, there's pain, right? There's some part of your bodies that are feeling pain. But if you're used to the pain, sometimes you don't feel it. You're so used to it that you don't even focus on it. Like if you were to listen to your body, I'm telling you, there's a part of your body that feels pain right now. So that's how I'm dealing with suffering. Is that I'm so damn used to it that I don't even think about it like a lot anymore. If you think religion is made up, do you think Prophet Jesus and Muhammad existed? And if so, did they actually have divine intervention by God or who made it up? I think these things are obvious. I think Jesus and Muhammad may have existed, but I didn't think they had superpowers. Let me give you a simple example. 2014, there was a prophet who went to one of the villages where my grandmother, like close to where my grandmother lived. I visited the village and stayed there for like maybe 4 months. People were saying that the guy stood on a pole, like he floated in the air and then he stood on top of a pole. Like they were exaggerating the things that he was able to do. And if they wrote a book about him, they would have exaggerated a lot of things, right? I think if someone like Jesus existed, they exaggerated the things that they're saying he did. Like he didn't do any of like the waking people up from the dead, like stuff like that. I like the movie, the Book of Clarence. If you haven't watched that movie, you should watch that movie. It's also about Jesus, really. But there was this guy who didn't believe that Jesus performed real miracles. So he tried to replicate what Jesus was doing by faking miracles, and people believed that those miracles were real. So I think that will also give you some idea of what might have happened during the time of Jesus if he did exist. Because if really the dude really was able to perform miracles, we will be able to perform miracles. Like I keep on telling you guys that society is getting better at things, it's not getting worse at things. So if we were able to perform miracles back then, it means now it must be much easier than it was back then. I fear death the same way I fear the future. Is the fact that I have no idea what will happen is what generate fear. Exactly. If we knew what happened and it wasn't something that's bad, maybe consciousness would just cease to exist. Then maybe there wouldn't be fear of death. If consciousness is fundamental, then why does reality feel so limited? Why does it feel like VR cog in this machine of chain of causality? Because some dreams do feel limited, but sometimes it has to do with the kind of dream consciousness is having. And to me, it feels like s- there is something artificial that is controlling reality itself that consciousness is able to experience. So it limits consciousness. And I think that's what's creating this prison. Ben, I've worked so much more recently. It's so clear now. I think I think everything becomes clear as we get old. I mean, wish you well. Thank you. What's your opinion on legal medical assisted? Can't even say the word. Um, One of the worst thing about this room is that we don't give people the option to choose to leave it. I mean, a good option. You know what the problem is? We know that. I mean, maybe we can't really be sure, but it seems to us that everyone who has ever lived, like their life will end at some point. But we feel that it is wrong for a person to choose when that will happen and they get assistance. I never truly understood that. It never truly made sense to me. I do believe that if we're intellectually honest enough as a society, if a person reaches a point in their lives where they say, hey, look, I'm good, they should be able to get the help. They should be able to get assistance. Because what sucks is that people, that's not stopping people from ending things. That's another problem. So can you imagine all those people who have ended things if they were able to communicate with their families, have real conversations about what they're going through and why they feel the way that they feel? That would be beautiful because we can't stop people from doing that at the end of the day. It happens every day, more often than we even realize. Some people you think, oh, it's just a car accident. Well, it's not even that, you know? The last emperor. Imagine if you're God, you can create anything you want, more power than we can even conceive, and you create people who have to poop and fart every day. What kind of weirdo made us? No, that's a good point, man. And I didn't like the way you're putting it is so accurate. Like I didn't really like look at it that way, but you put it so well. What is the best way to cope in this hell realm? Is to stay as detached as possible. I think that's the best way to cope. All we can truly know is existence is real. It's scary. How access to truth is. All we can know is existence is real. No, no, I don't think it's real. I don't think this. Okay, existence is real, but I don't think reality is real. I don't think it's what we think it is. So yes, you are experiencing something. You exist, but the experience itself might not be real. The last emperor find a cope: food, games, sex, drugs, alcohol, in isolation. Hey, this guy is talking about drugs, sex, and alcohol. I don't know, man. Or just become good at compartmentalizing yourself and play the game, red race, and try ignore the obvious BS. Right, that makes a lot of sense. The biggest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world God doesn't exist. Me. I like that quote. It's from the movie. What's the name of the movie? No, actually, the quote was the biggest trick that the devil ever pulled was convincing the world it doesn't exist. It's from the movie Usual Suspect. Yeah. Man, this time I've been leaving some hateful comments in your videos. I just want to say I'm sorry. You seem to be a nice person. No, thanks. Uh, just that I don't pay that much attention to negative comments. If your tree fell in the woods and no one or animals was around to hear it, would it make a sound? If no, then you can attribute this question to all of our senses, making question your reality. See, yeah, that's a good question. It doesn't really seem like anything can happen without anyone witnessing it. So if no one witnessed something happen, then it didn't. I think it makes a lot of sense. So if you find a tree that was standing and it fell down, it didn't actually fall. It's more like if someone is drawing something, so they draw a tree that's standing, and then on the next page they draw the same tree, but now it's down. It didn't fall. You know what I'm saying? So it's deep, but I think that's how reality works. The power that be have no interest in giving you an easy way out. Your lush is a precious commodity, 100%, bro. Like that's how it seems to me, actually. If consciousness is fundamental, do you think we can lucid dream? You think you can lucid dream like how some people lucid dream? I think we should only focus on trying to be lucid in this room, because the problem is this: when you're dreaming, you don't remember everything that you can remember. So, for an example, you might not remember the idea of lucid dreaming, so you might never even think about it. So maybe the main focus it should be us trying to be as lucid as possible in this realm, right? Like I must try to be lucid while I'm here. not while I'm dreaming, but while I'm actually having this experience. I think that's what's gonna help. If consciousness, oh, this one of that's Boozy. Oh, thanks for joining. I remember the name. Always, I remember asking you if you were African, but you told me you're not. Oh, Kid, me did all this conscious work. Now I'm just left with continuing to live in a repeat or just loss of myself in this world. But kid me would choose to leave this place. People try to spread the fear. Maybe interesting things will happen, man. We're told that there's that three-eye antlers thing that is coming. So hopefully, like the thing is, it gets boring sometimes. Like if you've been here for too long, it gets to a point where things just become boring, and you want, I don't know, you want life to make sense, right? So that's the thing. But I think I think interesting things will happen soon. I don't think this reality will be as dull as it seems, every day. I think some new things will happen that will make us will make us wake up to what's really possible in this kind of realm. Detachment is fine, but what is the limit? If you detach too much, you might end up being homeless. No, that's true. I mean, I think it's about finding balance, because you can't truly be free while you still exist here. What is going to happen is this: you're going to reach the highest level of freedom possible that a human can reach if you try to be as detached as possible. So that does lead to some level of freedom, but it can't be complete freedom while you're still in this realm. So the best thing is to try to find balance. So even if you have a way that makes you money, you don't quit, but you're not emotionally attached. Like if you go to work, you're not emotionally attached to the people that you work with. So you don't really care about their opinions and all of that. It is what it is. You just do what you do, say what you say, whatever. You know what I'm saying? I think that helps. I mean, it's scary how limited. Wait. Let me go up. I mean, it's scary how limited access to truth is. Sorry to typo. No, try to type more. Like, try to check your spellings and everything, so I'll be able to read the comment. L Diablo Radio International Channel Rules. If it's the channel that you're talking about, yeah, that's a very good channel. Like if it's the channel that I think you're talking about. Can anyone here actually lucid dream or astral travel? That's a very good question. I would like people to answer that. Most of reality exists in our mind. If you don't witness it with our senses, it's hard to get a grasp on what things outside of our senses existing without faith, God, the devil. I've had a couple of lucid dreams. Explain what you're experiencing when you're having these lucid dreams. Why are you so bored all of the time? Bored. I don't know if it's boredom. Um, I don't know if I deal with a lot with I don't know if I deal with boredom a lot. It's not boredom, really. Like my biggest problem is not even boredom. My biggest problem is I don't trust this world. I don't trust reality. I don't think we're having a positive experience. There were times when where I actually dealt with boredom, but it's not now. I haven't been dealing with boredom in a long time. Do you think awakening superpowers is possible? I don't know. I don't think that's possible. I don't think when you awaken you're gonna have superpowers. I think a lot of things that used to affect you won't affect you. But I wouldn't say that you now develop some superpower. If God is real, he and the devil is in the same team. Divide and conquer type of shit. I don't know. Like if you read the Bible, I wouldn't say they're really on the same team. I would say God isn't really the creator of everything, and the devil also has some power. So maybe the power that the devil has is equal to the power that God has. The same way that people who speak the truth in this room, they have the same kind of power that with like the levels, the same level of power that people who don't speak the truth have, right? It just depends on how people look at things. So yeah, that's how I put it. But I wouldn't say it's the same energy. If we live another 50 to 100 years, we will see an AI generated vision of the hell. Oh, yeah, maybe. Nah, I don't think that will happen. What we'll need to do as conscious beings is, I don't know, be as careful as possible to what kind of things you accept. But I don't know. I don't think that's what will happen. Not in 50 to 100 years. I think it'll take, like, I think maybe there are some people who will be able to create simulations, and some simulations will not be good. And that is why you can't be too trusting as a conscious being. Pain is inevitable, but your attitude and your attachment to it will be different. Most people suffer more because they identify and become attached to their pain. That's true. That's 100% true. Yeah, I've realized that a lot of things that made me suffer in the past weren't things that should have made me suffer in the first place. It had to do with how I looked at these problems that were making me suffer. So the more I work on detaching myself from the things that are making me suffer, the better. So I would suffer less because of that. There's a reason why if there are things that made you suffer years back, when you think about them now, they don't make you suffer anymore. It has to do with how you viewed things back then. It had to do with what you were attached to back then. That's why I keep on saying that detachment is really the answer. If we try our best to remain as detached as possible, then not like a lot of things won't make us suffer. But if we stay attached to things, then there will be suffering. Let me take a short break. Keep on commenting. I'll be back in a second. Devil hates us for just existing. God hates us for just existing. We hate the devil for just existing. Now, maybe the devil is the good guy, like when you pay attention to what's written in the Bible, I think the devil actually might be the better guy compared to God. Oh, guys, let's join the Discord because I want us to talk on Discord after the live. Oh, thank you guys for joining this live. I'll be on Discord, so hopefully people can join and we can have conversations on Discord. Let's like the live. I think. Oh, and for the one likes, let's keep on liking so that people who have not seen the live will be able to see it. Thank you, all guys.